Good afternoon. My name is Jeremy Helfgott. I'm here on behalf of Phoenix Pride, joined by members of the Phoenix Pride Board of Directors and members of the Pride community. Earlier today, as most of you are aware, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office released information regarding an arrest that was made locally on Friday of a 17-year-old individual. I am not going to state his name, simply not to give him that level of recognition, but he had been for nearly a year expressing intent to launch an attack on the Phoenix Pride Festival and Parade weekend, targeting the Phoenix Pride community. And as is evidenced in the indictment filed by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, he had acquired necessary materials to create a device and was in the process of, and it's not clear, may have even completed said device. Fortunately, this individual was taken into custody by law enforcement on Friday, and I am here, while in a very sober moment, to say that happily the Phoenix Pride Festival and Parade went on uninhibited, uninterrupted, and as the celebration that they really should be, knowing that the community was safe thanks to the action of our public safety partners. In that regard, I do want to acknowledge the agencies that were involved in vitally protecting the community in this matter. And I want to acknowledge the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, specifically Prosecutor Ed Leiter and County Attorney Rachel Mitchell. I also want to give note to the Arizona Counterterrorism Information Center, our state fusion center, which participated in the investigation, as well as, and specifically to, the FBI's Phoenix Division and the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, which it is my understanding had a lead role, or at least a significant role, in this investigation, as well as the local agencies who affected the arrest, which I understand included officers from Glendale and Peoria. And I also need to note that the Phoenix Police Department, with officers off-duty on the festival grounds and through the Community Response Squad and other units protectively at the Phoenix Pride Parade, were with us this weekend, keeping us safe. I want to note, because I do know and recognize there are some in our community who face difficult and very real, very valid challenges and concerns regarding their interactions and broader communal interactions with local police. We see those concerns and we recognize them, but it is important to recognize that in this moment, our partners in public safety, our partners in law enforcement, did what they needed to do to keep our community safe, and we have to acknowledge that, and we have to acknowledge their efforts. Beyond that, I do want to state that this was a safe event, and that as of now, I am not aware, in speaking with our law enforcement and public safety partners, of any other existent threats in connection with this individual or of any other specific threats currently facing the community. The Phoenix Pride community, the Phoenix LGBTQ+ community, is a vibrant community. It is strong, it is empowered, and it is resilient. And while in this moment, I know that members of our community are processing this news, it is emotional, it is traumatic. I encourage anyone who needs the support to please seek help. It's okay to acknowledge that we need help. It's okay to acknowledge that this is an emotionally traumatic event, and it's okay to get the necessary support that you need. Beyond that, I want to thank the leadership of our community. I want to thank our civic leadership. I've heard this afternoon directly from a number of elected officials, including the Office of Governor Hobbs, Mayor Kate Gallego, Congressman Stanton, and numerous others who have reached out to share their support with the community, stand with us. And it's also very important to note that at the Phoenix Pride Parade this past Sunday, which was targeted by this individual, but not for the intervention of our public safety partners in securing the event, The list of dignitaries who were present and participating in our parade, which was a great honor for us and of whom we are tremendously grateful for their support for the community. But they included Grand Marshal Governor Hobbs, they included Congressman Gallego, Congressman Stanton, Mayor Gallego, Mayor Woods, Secretary of State Fontes, Attorney General Mays, and numerous members of local city councils and other civic leadership who showed out to participate and stand with us. And we are thankful for their support, and we are thankful that they too are safe today along with our community. And with that, I can take any questions if there are any. I think the important thing to note is that this particular plot was interdicted. It was stopped safely, it was stopped in time, and our events were able to proceed safely and without incident. And that's something important to the confidence of the community, to know that we have partners who are watching our back, who are ever vigilant, and it doesn't mean that we can be slack. As members of the community, all members of the community, we need to continue to be vigilant. We need to continue to speak up when we see things that aren't right or are questionable, and we need to be unafraid to stand united, stand together, but continue to stand. As I said, we are an empowered community here in Phoenix. The LGBTQ plus community is an empowered community, and we're going to continue to move forward as we both celebrate and continue to live with our successes as a community and with rights and other matters that have been hard fought over decades, and knowing that we have to continue to fight for the rights that don't yet exist, to protect all of the most vulnerable among our community, and to continue to ward off the kinds of threats that we saw this weekend, born out of hatred, born out of ignorance, born out of spite. We work very, very closely year-round with our partners in the public safety community, the intelligence community, the law enforcement community, and those relationships are fluid and dynamic. And I don't want to get into the specifics around security measures in terms of who specifically knew what when and which agencies were in contact at which particular point. Some of those questions can certainly be directed to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office or to the FBI, but as far as Phoenix Pride is concerned, we were given assurance by our public safety partners right up until Friday night, the night before festival began, and even into Saturday morning, that they had no active threats that they were tracking, and that we had the all clear to proceed safely, and we did so.
And I guess with that, I know this is a threat that we've now seen at least an arrest made in, but I know every year those precautions were taken. Was there anything extra that was done? I know you mentioned those off-duty Phoenix officers at both the festival and parade, but we see that from time to time. Were there any extra steps that had to be taken this year?
Again, I can't get into the specifics of actual security planning. It would obviously mitigate some of that planning if we were to share it, but I can tell you that we take steps at every event year after year, whether it's the Pride Festival and Parade, the Rainbows Festival, our Miss and Mr. and Mix Phoenix Pride pageant series, and so forth. The safety and well-being of our community is always the very first top-line concern, and it drives everything we do.
I did just want to ask, this teenager was arrested the day before everything was supposed to start. It was very close. Considering the indictment of how he received allegedly of these materials to carry out part of the attack, he was arrested the day before. Just your reaction to how close this got to before something could have turned deadly at this event?
I'm going to ask you to direct questions about the investigation and any law enforcement involvement to those agencies, But obviously, we're grateful that clearly there was an investigation ongoing, that this individual had been known to law enforcement and to prosecutors, and they were well on the job and taking care of business. Beyond that, again, anything in terms of the investigative timeline, the prosecutorial timeline, I'll refer you to MCAO or to FBI or other law enforcement.
I think you hit on it a little bit earlier, but this isn't just an event for the Phoenix Pride community, this is the community at large, is it not?
Absolutely. One of the things about the Phoenix Pride Festival and Parade, and all of Phoenix Pride's events, is they are open and welcoming safe spaces. We bring in our allies, and we know we had a lot of allies with us this weekend, both attending the festival and attending the parade. And we are open to the community as a whole. Anyone who wants to come and engage positively with Phoenix Pride at our events is welcome to do so. And we encourage people to come in. There are a lot of people who might not be familiar with the LGBTQ plus community, with the culture that surrounds it, with the history. And that's really what part of these events is for, is to continue to bring new people into the fold, introduce people to what the community and the organization are about, and to hopefully continue to grow both the LGBTQ plus community and the allied community around it. And that really is one of the driving reasons for creating these safe spaces. It's an opportunity to bring people together, to celebrate that togetherness, and to hopefully do so not under any kind of threat. And thankfully, we know, because this arrest was carried out and this plot was interdicted before the festival began, we were able to carry it out without any threat.
Just one more question. Unfortunately, these threats happen. We know that this is nothing new. Still a terrifying situation. You touched this on already. Can you just tell us about the importance that even though these threats happen, and how important it is to still carry on these events and not let it deter, Pride Fest from carrying out these events of inclusivity, for the community. Just the importance of still moving forward, even when you're threatened with things like this.
I think that moments like this actually reveal and bring into very stark relief why Phoenix Pride is such an important organization, and why the events we create are so vital to the community. That act of being seen, of being accepted, maybe not by the entirety of the broader community yet, but by more and more of the community as a whole as time goes on, is how we break down the barriers, how we break down those walls of hatred that exist. And I think, honestly, there is a tremendous power in being together as community, in coming together face to face, in being present with people. And that's how we change minds, that's how we bring people into the fold, that's how we grow acceptance. And so in the wake of moments like this, I think it only leads us to redouble our resolve to move forward, to continue doing what we do for the community, to continue building and maintaining and driving those safe spaces, and to continue to send the message that the LGBTQ plus community of Greater Phoenix is here, is not going anywhere, will not be intimidated, will stand strong and stand unified. Anybody else? I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for your coverage of this important matter. And I want to thank all of you for the continued coverage of Phoenix Pride and the Phoenix LGBTQ plus community that we are appreciative to receive from our local media outlets. It is important for this community to be seen, and your help in doing that is tremendously appreciated. Thank you very much.